fantastic. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay. I like that you have this screenshot of me, historically speaking. Fantastic. Okay, so I know what everybody's thinking about, and I'm going to address that all today because obviously there's a lot of good things. Okay, there's a lot of good stuff to address today. And yes, I am absolutely answering questions. Yeah, I'm absolutely talking about Phantom Opera. Okay, so first of all, let me see this thing I think he wrote. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, my attitude in this month came from such immense burnout. And I am so glad I don't think this way anymore. Because to be honest, yeah, because learnpyre.com absolutely engages in a bit of spoon feeding. Okay, so everybody here is aware of the announcement that took place on April 7th concerning the suspension of Phantom Phantom validation, correct? Yes? Yeah? Okay, fantastic. So you might be wondering, like, what are we going to do, Five? I completely understand, because to be honest, that's all I've been thinking about for the last week or so. And again, I got a couple things to announce. So next week, in this time slot, I'm going to be doing a big, do you guys remember the Revelation Tour? Do you guys remember when I did a screen share presentation back in 2022? Okay, well, Odin, I might be calling this one the Validation Tour because I'm actually going to address our overall approach and strategy to, one, potentially taking over validation for the Phantom Opera and then what that would take, because I've only been analyzing it like since then. In fact, the computer I use for streaming, I'm going to be taking apart tomorrow and getting it ready to do a test run for a validator node and an API node. Two separate tests. But these two tests are pretty critical because they will determine whether or not the Semi-Rich Circus can take over validation for all of Phantom Opera. Does that make sense to you guys? Because that is the number one plan, to be clear. I'm going to address all that on camera. I've got this long scrolling thing just like before. I teach a whole bunch of stuff with it. I'm about halfway done with it now. I was showing it off internally. Now, Abolito, I want you to know this. There is a rumor that it is impossible to start up a validator right now. That either that there was like a government's thing that they blocked it, or that they increased the token quantity to like 1 trillion or a quadrillion. Does that make sense? Like, that's a rumor. So we don't know if that rumor is true. So the first thing we actually need to do on our end, and I'm giving you a bit of a peek behind the curtain, is we need to figure out if that rumor is true. One way or another, this is all accomplished through us doing a test launch of a minimum requirement validator node and an API node. Now, believe it or not, this computer here has 64 gigabytes of RAM. And it doesn't really need 64 gigabytes. And you don't even need 64 gigabytes to validate. But like this computer here, I'm going to be, I will be no longer streaming on this set for like, I don't know, probably April and May. And even June. Does that make sense? Because I'm going to be using the computer I use for this streaming as a node. That does not mean I will stop doing this stream, but rather I will be doing it from the other computer. It might be audio only, or it might be me on like a webcam. Does that make sense? Like, it'll be lower quality streams, but like, who cares? You know what I mean? Because the powerful computer will in fact be operating Phantom, hopefully. Make sense? Additionally, I am literally flying in somebody on Friday. This Friday, I'm flying in a blockchain network engineering expert that I've known for a long time. He's going to be staying with me for 2 weeks as we hard attack this. Does that make sense? Like, we're going to be fucking focusing the fuck on this issue. Okay? Making sense? So, it might mean that we need to spin up 3 nodes and then like another API node. We need to figure out how governance works, whether or not like we can continue that. It might be the case that we need to fork Phantom, by the way. Like, we need to literally fork Phantom, clone Phantom, and then like launch it on a separate chain. I'm not even joking. Does that make sense to you guys? So we might actually fucking end up like using the Genesis file and then synchronizing it off a read-only state and then forking it to its own fucking chain. Make sense? I'm not even joking. That could be a thing that we end up doing. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I wish there was more people here for this because I'm actually announcing a bunch of big things. Like, I literally have like 15 pages of notes here on just how to run validators and RPC nodes for Phantom. Like, I have been going after this because, to be honest, Odin, like, this is I almost feel like this is like a fated type of test because, you know, we already have like a big onus on us just for us saying we can repeg fucking tomb forks, especially the big ones on Phantom. But like, if we can also rescue the Phantom Opera, which was kind of the goal in the first place, by taking over validation, we only end up doing so much better for ourselves. Do you guys know what I mean? Like the story behind the project, us being like a triumphant underdog, our level of final glory is only higher. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Fantastic. Okay, so validation tour. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna be making an announcement tomorrow. Yes, exactly, Odin. Because to be honest, you know, I don't know if you watch other chains, but AVAX has also been like in a sad slump. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, there hasn't been like good stuff happening on AVAX like much at all in the last Yeah, exactly, Odin. So now I gotta think, like, could this also happen to AVAX? But like, again, it's better for me to fucking get practice now at Phantom so that if it did happen to AVAX, I think AVAX has a bunch of validators, you know what I mean? But like, they're also not like announcing a migration, but like, again, you just can't trust certain people to know what they... Anyways, we're going to be investigating everything. We're going to be turning over every fucking stone because even the stuff that you hear Sonic Labs saying, whoever you guys think are like the thought leaders of Web3, I assure you, nobody fucking knows what they're talking about. In fact, the Senor Circus would not exist if this wasn't the case. Because all my organization became was, hey, a whole bunch of people have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Like, all I did was I scrutinized what devs were telling me, like back in the Tomb Fork days. Do you know what I mean? So like, I need you guys to understand, we invented Metatrage first. I explained exactly how it would behave and how it would function. That one of them needs to rise to drive the price of the other one up higher. The people at Sonic Labs launched Sonic. They literally created a Metatrage bridge from Phantom to Sonic, exactly like how it works here, and they cannot wrap their head around why their price is depressed. Do you guys know what I mean? So like, again, I just don't have the faith in them. Okay, now, we're gonna know, okay, I want you guys to know, we're not waiting until June 30th. It's not gonna be a scramble. By June 1st, like the month of June, it will be very, very clear what position we're in. Like, so whether we are fucking validating for Phantom, whether we are forking Phantom, whether we are copying the state file of Phantom and launching a separate chain. We could call it Phantom Ghost. Wouldn't that be fun? You know, like it died and then it came back to life. Anyways, okay. Or Phoenix Opera, right? Something like that. Anyways, I'm kidding. You guys will know what we're doing because if we fail at all of the best cases and we need to migrate to another chain, obviously we're not going to fucking phone that in at the last minute. So all of June, it will be clear what's happening. By June 1st, I expect to have most things in position for whatever it is we end up doing. Does that make sense? So if we can validate, or if we can API node, or do all these things, all of those questions should be answered in the next 30 days. Like even sooner than 30 days. I would say 2 weeks or 3 weeks, tops. Possibly even 1 week. I don't know yet. You know, a week is quick, but like we're making moves. This computer is getting taken apart tomorrow. I'm gonna write an announcement tomorrow where I tell people to watch this particular recording. I am gonna have a fucking engineering. I guess I'll just call him a hardware expert flying in on Friday. This guy, back in the day, he actually launched one of the first platforms where you could lease Bitcoin miners on a website. So if you wanted to mine with somebody else's hardware, you could lease it with fiat. So he was actually doing that in like 2013 and 2012, like way back in the day. So this guy is going to be visiting me on Friday. He's going to be here for like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know. But like, I am bringing out the big guns to make this happen because we have a deadline, and if we can win at this, we're going to win at everything. Do you guys know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense. Okay. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys care about this, but according to my astrology, according to my zodiac, June 30th, which is the same day that that's the same day that Sonic Labs will stop validating for Phantom. According to astrology, that's supposed to be one of the luckiest days in my life. Okay? Who knows? Who knows? I don't necessarily believe in astrology, but it just so happens that that's a thing right now. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. I guess we'll find out. But it just so happens that June 30th of this year is supposed to be like a 14-year like golden era for me. The start of, June 30th of this year. Who knows? Maybe astrology is real. I don't fucking know. Guess we'll find out. Is that any questions? Yeah, me too, Odin, me too. Yo, Abuelito, I also agree. But I'll be honest, Abuelito, we have to figure out if we can. Now, I fully believe that they would turn off the emissions, because I do believe the emissions are turned off for the validator nodes. But what I don't understand is if they would block new validators from showing up. I don't think they would, because their last move was to try to get more validators. Does that make sense? Oh, is Zonic alive now? Yay, Zonic. Zonic was on a business trip, you guys. Yeah, he was on a business trip. So his schedule was weird. Yeah, Zonic, yeah. I want you guys to know, there are dozens and dozens of people who still support this project from the shadows, even if you don't see them often, because people have lives and not everybody can be as zealous or committed or maybe, hand around the fucking thing. But yeah, no, I'm not scared of this. And worst case scenario, like in June, we can examine other chains to migrate to. I'll be honest, I probably don't want to go to Sonic. Okay? Like, I do not really want to do that. By the way, the rumors that I hear is that everybody who's a Sonic investor, they all are yearning for the old Phantom Glory days. Like, they're not happy with Sonic Labs. Yeah, oh no, I totally understand. Yeah, like I get it. Yeah, it's okay. Like everybody has to get by somehow. Anyways, I want you guys to know that no matter what happens, we still are going to make it, because I'm still getting a large TVL check like this year. I'm really glad in a way that it didn't happen before now, because then it would be like I brought a bunch of money onto Phantom and now I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Right? So I'm actually glad that a lot of those things got delayed, because we can now investigate, we can examine the infrastructure of Phantom. And by the way, next week I'm going to be linking in the documentation about where people can learn what we're looking at. There's really 4 areas, okay? there's 4 objectives to what we call Operation Carpe Phantom, okay? Let me write this out in the fucking thing. One, validation. 2, API and RPC nodes. 3, governance. 4, repositories. Okay? So really it's like so the goal is to gain control of these things, or at least the files, right? Does that make sense to you guys? The first problem is the analysis of it. Sorry. But first, yeah, like it's feasibility. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah. I will explain more next week during the validation tour. So I wanted to address something I saw written in chat earlier. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna address. Yeah. I will answer this. I will answer this in this recording. Okay. So. Okay, so GB says, okay, there are people like me who spread across multiple chains of the Revelation Tour. First of all, GB, let me commend you for your diamond-handedness, along with everybody else who's been here since the Revelation Tour. If this was a one-chain focus, then it should have started with Snow and Frozen Tomb. I completely agree there as well. To be honest, the fact that we ended up acquiring Snow Tomb and Frozen Tomb at the same time was kind of like critical to the design of it. Like we ended up, the solutions for this was not just how to solve one tomb fork, but how to solve multiple, right? And it ended up working out better than expected, even though maybe that is yet to be proven, at least in design, okay? Now, Tomb was the biggest, and the Phantom East is pretty much dead. I want to be clear that, like, Learn Pyre is meant to solve all these problems at once, because what I've learned, and I've learned this hard as fuck, is that I cannot count on any other organization in Web3 to deliver the bare minimum results. And I mean that as cruelly and as critically as possible. So like, I can't count on DexScreener to be an accurate provider of data. I can't count on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko to do the same thing. So like, I can't count on any chain we move to provide the volume necessary for us to win. So Learn Pyre has taken over a year. And do you know why? Because it's actually bigger. The marketing project is more work than the phase 1 of the actual DApp. And that is actually aligned with the life path of an inventor. If you invent something new, and it's like a product or service, you end up marketing it for more time than it took to build it. Like that happened for Henry Ford with the automobile. It happened with Edison and the electricity. Like you fucking name it. It takes more energy, effort, etc. to end up showing people why they would want it than it does to build it. Does that make sense? Like the people skills end up being a limiting factor. So when we talk about how we're going to make it work on Phantom, Learn Pyre is taking a long ass time because it allows me to 1000x my daily output at evangelizing this project. Because what Learn Pyre is it's a link. It's a link to a website that anybody here who's been a long-term believer in this project can send to anybody else, and it will be a series of videos, and it literally spoon feeds them Alessio. It gives them in the most concise way the reason why they would want to. I gotta fucking turn that back on. The reason why they would care about this project in the first place, and then what it does for them. And then again, if you remember how to tell when to sell, which is fundamental analysis is actually our strong point, it literally explains to them why they would want to learn that so they can stop getting wrecked in the endless ocean of, I don't know, embarrassing projects in Web3, whether these be scams or failures. Does that make sense? So the fact that marketing is taking longer is because, GV, you might not realize how much of a nuclear option I'm going for in marketing. Because I am no longer, like, we could deploy on fucking, Base, or we could deploy on Ethereum, or we could deploy on whatever, any chain with higher volume. But I am not casting a small net where I'm trying to capture things on chain. LearnPyre is meant to help you give a link to somebody who doesn't even use crypto. It walks them through how to get a MetaMask, how to fund it 3 separate ways, and then how to bring them all the way to the Phantom Opera where they now interact primarily with this dApp. If you've been around since 2022 and 2021, most people came to Phantom because of dApps. Like, I don't think most people cared about, it being a DAG, a DAG. They cared about Tomb Forks and the DeFi dApps. You know what I mean? That was what was cool about Phantom. Everything was a Halloween theme. That was also pretty fun, That, and of course it was cheap and it was fast too, right? So like, again, this is why it's been so long. Like, I am doing so, like, LearnPyre is the hardest thing I've ever worked on in my life. But like, it's from in the past, me trying to take a shortcut with marketing, which is why it didn't work. You can't have that attitude when you're an inventor. Like, you have to make marketing something that is arguably twice the size of the thing you're promoting. Like, we've been delayed, but honestly, again, considering the state of the Phantom Opera right now, I'm not upset about the delays because it might be saving us some fucking problems. What is it again? Okay. So again, GV, when we finish LearnPyre, it should be to the point that while we're continually redesigning everything, while I prepare to start promoting LearnPyre, you guys, as the core community, can literally start promoting LearnPyre to your friends, and after they go through the journey of LearnPyre, they could be as diehard as you about the project. And all you have to do is you have to give them the link and then persuade them to watch the videos. I don't know if you guys remember this about Bitcoin. Bitcoin was primarily evangelized peer-to-peer. So we're not interested in a pump and dump type of approach to marketing. Like, we are in fact thinking about how, Abolito, he says he talks about his wife with the project. LearnPyre is about helping Abolito make his wife the biggest diehard believer in this project. And then his wife can go and give the link to somebody else she knows. Like, it's meant to be like, oh shit, this was the easiest way to explain the project and why I should care. And it makes people like the project before they even start touching it. Like, you know what I mean? So I read like dozens of marketing books when the Genesis ultimately did not give us a user base. The Genesis did not do its job, which was actually to grow the user base. In Web3, when you market something with a Genesis, what you're actually promoting is the event. You're not really promoting your fucking project. Like, it doesn't really translate that they care about your project. They care about like what they already understand. Therefore, well, I could fucking wax poetic with this for a while. Going back to Rolf, Rolf, you're not wrong, but in a sense, like, one of the reasons we started on Snow's Tomb and Frozen Tomb and 2Ohm is because we, as the Sacred Circus, we were in these like consulting campaigns to repeg all these projects. So, believe it or not, we took over all of this as a continuation of those campaigns. Because like, I just would not quit on them because I had already proven how to do it. I was talking about terminal utility in April of 2022. We didn't acquire these projects until like months after that, right? So like I think the acquisition of Frozen Tomb and Snow Tomb was like it was after Terra Luna collapsed. Like it was like late May, and then Tuom started in September of 2022, and then Dibs started in like November, December. We were doing the Revelation tour in the middle of the acquisition of Dibs. Like it was like halfway done. The good news here, again, for both of you, Rolf and GB, I want you to understand this about human nature, because you've already seen this in Tomb Forks. When Web3 people see that something is possible with one project, they almost immediately go look for copies and clones and or forks of that project. Do you guys know what I mean? You guys saw it with Tomb Forks. So the fact that we want to start with Phantom does not hurt the other chains, because all it takes is for enough people to see that, holy shit, this is working on Phantom, and they will, out of their own self-interest, go start buying PyreAVAX and PyreBNB. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, people will take their profits and start pumping the other coins with them. Now, you might be thinking, but that will cause Pyre Phantom to crash. The good news is we are not turning off the faucet of new traffic into Phantom the whole time. Like, we're never turning it off ever again. We're never not marketing after Learn Pyre is finished. We are just marketing full-time, all the time, all prices, all seasons, all years. Do you guys get what I'm saying? We're not marketing an event. Learn Pyre is an evergreen customer onboarding system. Investor onboarding, use it, whatever you want to call it. So, like, we will fill up all 3 bottles, is what I mean to say. Like, that's why. But you need to start with one thing, because people get distracted. People, if you, you have to, it's the shape of a tree. You have to help people climb the trunk first, and then let them climb the branches on their own. A good example of this is video games. So, in the game Skyrim, you start off, right, and you're about to get beheaded, and then, like, later on, you could be doing 1,000 different fucking things, right? But, like, in order to, like, bring you into the world of Skyrim, they have to give you a very, very linear beginning. Does that make sense? Like, that is the allegory, but that's what works with onboarding. Like, and that part of the user experience in the video game is exactly the same philosophy and psychology behind marketing. Yeah, Alessio, you're right. Yeah, and I'm glad. Yeah, I deserved to be punished for my hubris. But it also made me aware of how much gibberish I spoke too. I think I was like awake for 3 days in a row. When I was calling people tapeworms in the documentation. Anyways. Yeah, like, again, there was a balance to this. But anyways, so I hope that answers GV's and Rolf's concern. But, like, again, we are still going to make it. Worst case scenario, if we have to migrate to another chain, we will still make it. Again, like, primarily, we want to take over validation for Phantom. The whole thing can be done for less money. Like, I cannot describe it enough. It is so much easier that we know of. The process for taking over Phantom can be done in less than a month, unless it's blocked from some element we're not sure of. That is so much easier than Learn Pyre. Learn Pyre is the hardest thing I've done in my life. Taking over validation for Phantom is not hard. Like, they literally provide you instructions. They provide you fucking instructions on how to run validators and those. So, like, again, like, this is a detour, a derailment, but, like, I only believe that this is for the benefit of all of DeFi and Web3 and this DApp to come. If we're not able to take over validation, what we can do is we can run nodes in read-only mode. We can have synchronized nodes, and then we can in fact clone fork it. We can clone fork the chain. We can kind of fork the chain. Does that make sense? In which case, yeah. Alessio, I think within a week we should find out. Alessio, tomorrow I will be taking apart the computer, the streaming computer. Because the streaming computer, the one right here we're using right now, this one is hardware. The hardware is good enough to run a validator node. Next week, during this stream, I will be doing the validation tour, where I have been presenting, or I've been building a long-ass scrolling document, just like the Revelation tour, where we outline our approach to solving these problems. In fact, here I'm gonna show you some screenshots. I'm gonna show you some screenshots of some of the things that are unfinished right now. Let me show you guys some screenshots. Now again, we don't know if validation is blocked, but it's only a rumor. Okay. So first of all, like, I got mad at people. I can show deer and shear as well. Okay. Okay, let's see what I can do. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Now this is screenshots yet. These are screenshots of the rough draft. Yeah. But next week during the validation tour, it will be in a final form. So, like, again, I will be doing that. Yeah, I'll be doing that from the same computer I did the Revelation tour from. And what do I mean to say? I'll be doing that from the same computer, and I will suspend being on this camera for future streams, likely until June. Only because we will be repurposing it, this computer, to test a validator node and an API node in separate tests. Yeah, because this computer here has 64 gigabytes of RAM. We made it. It's designed for like hardcore video editing and production. We would be using this to build Learn Pyre. You know what I mean? Which is like a bunch of video editing. So in the meanwhile, though, a more apt use for it is to see if we can fucking run a validator node and we can run a fucking API node with it, because it does meet the requirements theoretically. We might need to get one piece of a separate solid state drive, but like that's only one component in this thing. Only one component in this computer would be ready to be a minimum viable node. Make sense? So yeah, like that's happening next week. I will make an announcement. Yeah, I will write an announcement tomorrow about next Wednesday being the validation tour. Yeah, the name was picked because it rhymed. Again, like, there's a couple solutions here. Like, there's a rumor that it's blocked, but like this is not proven yet. Again, you cannot believe Web3 rumors, even if they come from people in Sonic Labs. I'm not even joking. Like, I was being shown screenshots of one of the Telegram mods saying that validation's blocked. But again, Telegram mods don't know shit. Alessio, no. Alessio, no. Not all of it. But you will know it around June 1st. Yeah. Not all of it, yeah. You drink with them? Oh, who, me? I legitimately met 2 of them. Yo, Maddie, those guys don't even work at Sonic. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the Sonic Labs, yeah, they both got fired. They both left. So, like, neither one of those guys even works at Sonic Labs. They work at Phantom, but they don't work at Sonic. So, like, the organization there is such a fucking... Anyways, yeah, not all of it. But by June 1st, yeah, but by June 1st, I don't know if you want to, but by June 1st, it will be clear what we're doing. There's really a few possible scenarios. One, we take over validation, yeah. In the most classic sense. 2, we fork the chain, yeah. The chain out of read-only mode, yeah. 3, we migrate to another EVM. Yeah, we will work this out. We will work this out. We will work this out in June if we even need to. Like, and I'll be honest, yeah, it probably won't be Sonic. Honestly, Maddie, I want you to. There is, yeah, but yes, but also, okay. One must also consider the upside. The upside. So, first of all, yeah. The heroic underdog Megadap. We are only more triumphant if we pull this off. You know what I mean? 2, like, if we can gain control of the objectives, there is financial upside to being the new validators. Does that make sense? And then, like, 3, the fucking brand value. Phantom was a top 20 market cap. Do you guys get what I'm saying here? Yeah. I don't know what, yeah. Is Rolf gave me the eggplant? Does he mean big dick energy or is he calling me a dick? I don't know. I guess either one is fine. Yeah. Yeah, like, do you guys get what I'm saying? And do you know that, like, Web3 kind of needs that shit? So the point being is, if we need to, like, tuck our tail between our legs, we can fucking handle that in June. But, like, we're gonna make it either way. Yeah, well, Maddie, you know what? The same thing would be said about 2-ohm and 3-ohm. You know what I mean? Which were both 9-figure market caps. Right? So, like, right now, Phantom, FTM, is like an 8-figure market cap. It's like, I don't know, whatever, right? Yeah. Yeah, so, again, the amount of money it would take and the amount of investment, the amount of effort to take over Phantom is so much less than Learn Pyre. Does that make sense to you guys? Like it's... I still have these gigantic checks coming, right? It's not super huge, right? But, like, 6 figures, right? I have a 6-figure one and a 5-figure one, you know, happening. So like, do you know what I mean? Well, Alessio, because of this happening, I'm very, very glad in a way that it got delayed. Do you know what I mean? Because had I already moved this TBL onto Phantom now, it would be way fucking... If I was now driving newbies onto Phantom and then like validation is blocked, I would be like the yeah, like I would be a fucking villain. Do you guys know what I mean there? You know what I mean? So like, yeah. So like it's like we're gonna make it. Like when we can either take over Phantom validation classically. We can do a if you read this, if you go to if you read the docs from Phantom Foundation, it's step 6. Yeah, step 5 or 6. Oh man, we got scammers coming. That's bullish. People must be showing up to this server again. Okay, step 5. Yep, step 5. Okay. It's step 5. Yeah, this is called synchronize. Synchronize with the network. And what that means, is you're running a node in read-only mode. Well, what you can do is use that blockchain history to fork another chain that shares that history. Does that make sense? Do you guys get what I'm saying? So like, do you know what I mean? Like if you can just kind of copy that fucking history and just like paste it over, we could just fork Phantom. It's not a true hard fork. I mean, like, I don't know. It's, yeah. I'm told it's not a hard fork, but it's like a firm fork. I don't fucking know the lingo. Well, Maddie, I'm glad that you actually mentioned the credit union. So yes, it does have a sense. But to be honest, Maddie, like, I also don't want to lose that history because, like, it still shows, like, the beginning days of this project. Yeah, and to be honest, Maddie, you guys, the Generation 1 that was on Phantom, that right there alone is like a, it's like a status symbol. Do you guys know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's not trash. It's not trash. Yeah, and to be honest, man, it would not be these things are called Genesis files, and like you can just do that. So like I would still do it anyways because I would want to. You know how everybody wants like the Phantom glory days to come back? I would try to do this with this next chain. You know what I mean? Like, why not just call it Phantom again? I don't know. Right? Like, if they're gonna kill FTM, then I can just take FTM over and, you know what I mean? Right? Like, so I wouldn't like get rid of FTM because people still recognize FTM as a ticker symbol, right? Do you guys know what I mean there? Like, I want you to know, Maddie, like, there is no upside in being low effort about this. There's no upside in being like, well, guys, we're gonna do the cheapest and easiest thing. We have to, like, you know, attack and assault and solve this problem, being a grown-ass man. Do you know what I mean? So, like, again, this computer is getting taken apart tomorrow to be repurposed as a validator node or an API node. We're gonna test both. We're gonna test to see if we can do it, right? I don't know if it'll be the test will be running tomorrow because we might need a component, but it'll probably be running maybe within the next 5 days. I don't know. After we have those tests, like, we're gonna know whether or not we can. Do you know what I mean? Well, Maddie, maybe. or maybe fucking AI knows how to do it. I will have an expert on site Friday. So this Friday I will have, sorry, Friday evening. So probably more like Saturday we start work. Okay. Yeah. So I will have a. Yeah. And Maddie, by the way, they teach you how to do everything in the documentation too. Like they really do. They really do make it easy. Like just do this. Just do this. Like people who develop blockchains, they want the process to be easy for other people to do it. Like this goes back to Satoshi Nakamoto. Do you know what I mean? Like he needed to make it easy for other people to onboard. Like as a miner, as a you know what I mean? Yeah, so even if we forked, like I would want that FTM fucking ticker, you know what I mean? And to be honest, this is like the first contingency, right? So like, anyways, next Wednesday in the same time slot, I will not be on the set. I will not be in the armchair. I will be doing a screen share, maybe doing a picture-in-picture. Right, Maddie, yeah, because it's just about making the computer do computer jobs. I've already done, I had a Linux computer in 2018. So it's like, you need to learn Linux CLI. But to be honest, an AI can teach you Linux CLI now. When I made the flip book for Fergus Fenbrook, I had ChatGPT helping me deal with the fucking system of Linux that I needed to use to access the cloud GPUs. I'm not joking. Yeah, so like, I already, you know, a year ago, I was already using ChatGPT to navigate Linux. Yeah, so, like, yeah. I mean, no matter of the scenarios, like, no matter which of the three futures, we're going to make it, okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys, if we fork it, should we call it Phantom Classic? Or do you guys think that would make it sound shittier? Classic means trash in Web3, right? Classic means trash, right? Don't call it classic. Fine, hyped. Alessio, like, listen, I know that I'm talking to men, right? Like we don't have any girls here, right? Like, there's 3 girls, they don't show up anymore. Okay. As a man, if you can't solve problems, the world hates you. Does that make sense? Like we earn our existence by solving the problems of other people, right? So like, when faced with a problem, there's no reason to get sad. It means you have another reason to justify your existence. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, when you see a man who's homeless, understand that that he decided. I mean, I don't even want to fucking bash the homeless, but you guys get what I'm saying. Whether he's disabled from nature or nurture, society has decided that he is more of a problem than a problem solver. You guys get what I'm saying? Okay, so like, this is not that big of a problem. Like, they offered instructions for this. Like, do you know what's a big fucking problem? Marketing Pyre. Marketing Pyre Phantom. Like, explaining fucking vibratility. Do you know what I mean? Like, that right there is a headache. Here, it's like they already provided instructions. It's like building furniture from IKEA, right? All we need to do is make sure we have enough hardware to do it consistently, okay? I already have sources. I already have people that want to contribute because they are also invested in this project. But like, this is my life. Like, I'm not doing something bigger than Pyre. Yeah, Alessio, exactly. Yes, Maddie, correct. But also, you know, it also it's just fun. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, do you guys have any more questions? I think somebody's knocking on my door. Okay, like, I'm going to make an announcement tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow I'm writing an announcement in the, tomorrow I'm going to write an announcement in this server, in Pyre, okay? I think this camera might be shutting off here in a minute. I'm going to write an announcement. Don't want you to validate. Well, Alessio, I'll tell you this. If we find out that validation is blocked, I'm going to find... Okay, it did it. Okay, hang on. If we find out validation is blocked, I'm going to scrape the CEO's fucking phone number, and I'm going to keep calling him until he turns it off. Right? And be like, let me validate, bro. You know, the Sonic Labs guy or whatever. Like, allow me to take over this so you don't look like you fucking killed your child. Alessio, exactly. By the way, guys, I don't believe that they, okay, I want you guys to think about this. When a dev stops working on a project in Web3, most of the time they just abandon it. Whatever it takes, Alessio, right? So, just like a tomb fork, the devs normally just, like, abandon it. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, they sort of, like, walk away from it. They don't necessarily, like, choke it in its, choke it to death. You know, they don't necessarily kill their old projects. They more or less just kind of, like, abandon it. Right? So, like, I don't think... I mean, they might have. We don't know yet. But, that'll all be explained next week. Right? We're going to, like... We will be talking about what we do know, what we don't know. Make sense to you guys? If it does turn out that validation is blocked, I will literally get this guy's fucking phone number. I will get his email address, and I will keep calling people at Sonic Labs like, hey. And I will make it in their self-interest. I'll be like, hey, you should allow me to take over validation of Phantom because it will make you guys look like less... It will make you guys look less like jackasses. Does that make sense? Because it will. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I don't care if they turn off the bridge, right? If they want to turn off the Phantom to S bridge, that's fine. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Like, we can just be separate, right? But, like, allow me to validate. And if they, like, for whatever reason, like, will not allow me to validate, then we will pursue the synchronized fork, the firm fork. Okay? And if we can't firm fork it, we'll migrate. We will, in fact, do an airdrop, or we'll do a fucking, I don't know. Yeah, we'll do, like, but you'll know that, like, June 1st. Does that make sense? June, hang on, let me look at what date it is. Okay, yeah, so June, yeah. June 1st is a Monday. Yeah, Maddie, and actually there are 4 objectives too, which is, I think I posted in the chat. There is validation nodes, there is API nodes, there is governance, and there are the repositories and extra files. So, like, we need to gain control of all 4 of them. Anybody listening here, if you want to help with that, whether it's through your own investigation or through your own efforts, please do so. Like, all hands on deck. Like, anybody with a vested interest, like, by all means, find a way to help. Yeah, like, why the fuck not? These things are meant to be decentralized. They're meant to be community run. So, like, yeah, I don't know how, we have nothing to lose from trying and researching and just studying this problem, because this is, if it's like the worst case scenario, it's still, we're still gonna be so much better off for truly knowing, like, some of the shady or nefarious stuff that Sonic Labs is doing. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, if they are. But, like, if they're not, then we can fucking still keep Phantom alive. Right? So, yeah, it's called Operation Carpe Phantom. Like, seize Phantom. Which is meant to sound aggressive, but, like, it doesn't need to be. Like, it's just, that's me just being a joker. anyways, yeah, I have like 4 notebooks here today for this particular stream because I was not dry for content today. Obviously, like we have a lot to talk about. And also, yeah, we're actually almost an hour into this too, and you know these things are good when I go for a whole hour. Anyways, I'm gonna write the announcement tomorrow, and I'm gonna link this. I'm gonna link this video in the announcement so people who did not watch it can watch the recording with ease. And next Wednesday, it will be the validation tour. The validation tour will not be as. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will be. Maybe this is a huge fucking turning point. And yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming to the stream. We're gonna have a very interesting year. I'll tell you that. And do you guys have any other questions besides that? Anything I have not addressed in great detail? Is my audio still working? Okay, yeah. Have I fucking like hit the nail? Yes? Okay. Alright, well then, thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna now turn the stream off. And I will be writing an announcement tomorrow. Announcement tomorrow, meaning Thursday, April 16th. Thursday, April 16th.